Now, welcome to World Chefs Podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar, and you're listening to World on a Plate. Joining us on the podcast today is an internationally renowned chef and owner of the acclaimed Bangkok venue, Potong, restaurant Potong, which is a multi-award winning. So I have with me Chef Pichaya Soontornyanakij. I hope I didn't mispronounce that, but
You did great.
she is great things. But thankfully, you're best known under the name Chef Pam. And so I will call you Chef Pam like everybody else. And so Chef Pam, she's the first ever and youngest female chef to receive both a Michelin star and the Opening of the Year award by the Michelin Guide at the same time. So she's also here another quickest and youngest Thai female chef to receive Asia's best female chef from the world's 50 best restaurants. So great accomplishments, and both from New York to Bangkok, Chef Pam has become a critically acclaimed chef, food consultant, television personality, and is one of the most recognized faces in cooking in Thailand today. So welcome on the show, Chef Pam, and thank you for joining us.
Hello. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You must have a busy schedule according to everything that I just mentioned.
Trying to get myself busy.
Excellent. But yeah, really amazing achievements, and congratulations with that, and really inspiring. So I just want to start, to ask you, how did you begin, and what was your culinary inspiration? How did you enter into the
Um,
culinary?
Actually, growing up, food is a big part of my family. My mom is a housewife. She quit her job when she has my older brother, and all she does at home is to look after the kids, me and my brother, and to cook for the family. So at the same time, I have to, stick with her since she go out to the market, come back, prep, and do all that. So I got used to being in the kitchen and being around food in general in the beginning. And growing up, I didn't know that it would be my passion at the end, but I think that's where it all started, I believe. And when I was in university, I studied communication arts, nothing to do with cooking, nothing to do with knives or anything at all. But then I realized that I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. And I'm very, I'm a person who really looking to find myself, like what I really like to do. So I asked my parents whether I can go to a cooking school to just to test it out. Because before that, I went to swimming school, I went to ballet, I went to piano classes. I didn't like it, so I had a chance to, test and error. But then cooking, when I went to cooking school at Cordon Bleu, it really enlightened me that, oh, this might be uh, a job or the career that I can do for the rest of my life. And
Mm.
so after graduating Cordon Bleu at the same time as university, I asked my parents that I want to go abroad to study cooking, to start all over again.
Mm.
Because when I want to do something, I want to do, the best that I can, and, try to, and cooking, I don't like learning, like I don't like to go to school. I love sports, but then when it comes to culinary classes, whether it's a demo class or sit down and we learn about recipes or about history of chefs, I really want to know more and more. And I think that when I realized that cooking is my passion, and uh, it's a passion that I can make a career out of it also.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
So from there, with taking all that, your passion and passion for cooking, you moved to the U.S., to the Culinary Institute of America. It's correct.
Yes.
And there
Yes.
you were training there under a three Michelin star chef, Jean-Georges, one day.
Yes.
Yeah. So how
Mhm.
was that like? So what was that your like true first experience of high-end gastronomy restaurant? What did you learn from that?
Um, I learned during that time, it was a really tough time for me in terms of my career and my daily routine and my adaptation to different cultures, because people in the US, especially in New York, are very competitive. They're very passionate and they take everything so seriously. And in the kitchen, um, I realized that, being tough and being straightforward is not personal and different from Thai culture. We always very nice to each other. We say things indirectly to make another person feel better. But there, everything was direct. So emotionally, I was struggling in the beginning. But then I learned a lot to become stronger emotionally in the kitchen
Mm.
and stronger as a person, as a cook also. And just make things happen daily in and out, because I remember I lived very close by John George, Trump Hotel. And every day I walked to work, it was like love and hate. I don't want to go, but then I love it. I love the adrenaline of service. And then after work, we were talking about what went wrong, who was in the shit, and it was a very, very a learning curve for me to grow as a person, as a cook, and as a how would I say, as an employee, like to follow recipes, to not take shortcuts. So I learned that in our industry, there's no shortcuts. You just have to do it faster every day, and just make it happen.
Interesting. Do you think it has changed since then? How long time ago was this? Tell us.
I think over maybe 10 years.
Years ago. Do you think things have
Yes.
changed with young people today, of how they um,
Mm-hmm.
manage the
Yes.
ambience in the kitchen?
Or the management in the kitchen.
Mm. The
Um,
ambience and that atmosphere of uh,
I think it changed
mm,
in terms of how long cooks stayed in one place.
yeah,
I think it's also because at that time we are willing to work for free in a three-star Michelin
yeah,
restaurant. We
yeah,
would fly over and beg for jobs just to learn
yeah,
how they do it, learn how they prep, how they come up with recipes and all that. But nowadays, a lot of things are shared online.
yeah,
So I guess that's the reason why young cooks they can learn recipes online now. It's
yeah,
not like you have to go and learn at the restaurants.
probably, yeah,
But
yeah,
then I think the beauty of going to work at a restaurant and learn by passion and by your willingness, that's the beauty of it. And it's kind of gone, but
yeah,
there are some better things of technology that comes in. So I think it changes
yeah.
uh, in in that
No,
sense.
I asked the question because we had a lot of discussions on the podcast and in the World Chefs Congress on Generation Z and the new generation who are now a 20-year-old and have a different expectations and
Yeah.
have a different approach to work life and life balance. So I wonder,
Mm-hmm.
so when you came back to Thailand and you started your restaurant, did you bring that working culture with you, or do you rather want to have like a friendly environment within your brigade? How do you see things today?
Mm, in the kitchen, I like a friendly environment, but serious. I don't like people playing in the kitchen, talking
Mm,
among each other, nothing to do with work. I like a very quiet kitchen, but a quiet kitchen can be like a very, how would I say, a negative atmosphere. I don't like that because I want people to look forward to come to work, and I want people to still love cooking because that's the reason why we all come in this industry and enjoying, but in the same way, we are serious about what we're doing and be responsible for what we do. Because in the kitchen, um, everyone has to be good at their job in order to come, and everyone plays a small part to come as a whole plate. And I think that's like a discipline that I really looking for in the kitchen.
So a happy chef makes better food.
Yes.
How many do you have in your brigade? How many do you have on a shift?
In Potong, at one restaurant, at one shift, we have around 8, 9, 10, 11 to 13.
Oh
It's
yeah,
because, but not everyone in the same kitchen. We have, a separate pastry kitchen. That's three of them. And then we have on the rooftop, we have a bite there. So usually we have interns doing that. So around 10 to 13 at one shift.
right. Yeah, a big brigade because it's a small restaurant. How many seats do you have?
And only 35 and a very, very small kitchen. But we just don't move. We pass on and stay there.
Exactly. So collaboration must be very important that everybody is getting
Yes.
along well. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us about Potong because you become very acclaimed in a very quick in a short period of time. What inspired you the concept behind Potong? What is
Potong is a very special restaurant for me because the building itself is a heritage building which belongs to my ancestor. So my ancestor built the building from floor up, like from ground up, 120 years ago. So the concept really lies alongside with the heritage of my family, the building, old recipes. But then in the culinary field, I was trained a bit like Western, a bit French. So I mix all that in. But then the flavor, uh, I I want to, when I come back to Thailand, I want to create something that really belongs to my heritage. So I bring the flavors of my mom's cooking, which is Thai Chinese, uh, to serve the guests. But the technique, I mix, whatever best that suits that recipes, I'll do it.
Mm,
Yes.
mm. And so how do you how would you sort of describe that your principles I read you call it the five elements
Mhm.
so what do you call Thai Chinese cuisine and what is behind that the five elements?
So first of all, Thai Chinese cuisine is we have to talk about the history of Thailand. But over 500 years ago, Chinese immigrants, come by boat and settle down in Bangkok. And they bring a lot of eating cultures, a lot of ingredients, a lot of equipment like wok, and a lot of um, uh, flavors to Thailand. And through time, hundreds and hundreds of years, people started to intertwine the Chinese and the Thai. And now it become Thai Chinese food nowadays, which you cannot find in China. For example, Chinese customer who come to Potong, they're not gonna they're gonna say it's not Chinese food, which is not because it's already Thai Chinese. So it's a mix of cultures and food and ingredients that has shaped because of time. And so at Potong, we have a principles of five elements and five senses. Five elements are salt, acid, spice, Maillard reaction, and texture. So these elements I didn't just, one day and come up with it. It was through my um, cooking, because before I opened Potong, I have a restaurant called The Table, which is like a chef table. I did that for several years, I think 4 or 5 years. And every time we come out of a new menu, it's always, falls in those categories. So it become, part of my style of cooking and the elements that I always, go back and then put on the plate. Um, yeah, so that's how the five elements comes in. And then the five senses, since Potong, I want it to be uh, a dinner that is not just a dinner. I want it to be an experience and a unique experience for the customer, a lot of innovations, a lot of interactions, and to create memories. So the five senses is that, you can see the food, you can smell, you can taste, you can hear, and then we tend to use a lot of hands during dinners because I think touching and feeling food, it connects you to what's on the plate and what are you eating. And that I found this during what I was reading about my daughter's how to raise a kid.
Mm.
And the book says that if you want a kid to remember an apple, you need all the five senses at once, not just a picture. You have to have a real apple to taste it and really touch it. So I bring that into the principle of our restaurant.
Mm. That's really interesting. So it's not like it's not like an ordinary a la carte. You do tasting menus, and
Correct.
maybe you can talk about. I was reading a few. They have like very creative names. The different dishes,
Mm-hmm.
and they focus on a produce. Maybe you can tell
Mm-hmm.
us a little bit about like what you're working on now, standout dishes that you are creating or innovative. Want to share
Mm-hmm.
some of those, and how
Yes.
they connect to you?
I think one of the most difficult challenges for many chefs is to create something that is very original. Like you can see the food on the plate without knowing the atmosphere, without saying where it is. You know which chef does that dish. So I think that's a very challenging um, thing to do. With nowadays, everyone see each other's dishes. It's stuck to your head. So what we're trying to do at Potong is to create something that is very innovative and original. So one of the thing that we got through is our pad thai dish, which is if you see our Instagram, you will see like a very simple um, medium rare cooked local shrimp with a cover of tofu. It looks very clean and simple. And then there's a cover of rice noodles, which make into a Thai flag. So it's like a mocking a little bit. But then when the customer sits on the table, they got served with the shrimp first, nothing on top. And what we want to customer to feel is that we want customer to question in their head when they see something, and then boom, we surprise them with a Thai flag noodle. So
Mm.
this is one of our new signature, and I think it's something that no one has done before in the world. And it took us a while to really think of it and make it delicious too. So for me, I think flavor is is the key to everything. You can be as pretty, you can make food as pretty as you want, but if it doesn't taste good, customer, they're not gonna come back. So um, we want to recreate something that is very innovative, that is give a surprise element and also delicious. So pad thai is one of them.
Right, right, right. Really interesting. So that's the secret for you, is that surprise element that customers are there to experience. So for you, experience
Yes,
is
yes.
the key to success of Patong. So I guess you are creating all the time. You're always thinking of new dishes. Yeah.
All the time. Yes, it's crazy. Sometimes I think keys to success from restaurant to restaurants are very different because the nature of the restaurants and of the chef and the team, location and everything. But for us, I think we have to be focused. At Potong, it's about unique experience, innovation, and at the same time, very humble because it's like my ancestors' home, very humble, easygoing.
Mm.
Um, yeah, for us, it's like that.
Mm. Excellent. Sounds wonderful, and I think a lot. I hope a lot of our listeners. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are very curious. So I guess they're gonna have to start booking tables because it's full. It's full weeks ahead.
Yes, very lucky. Yes.
And that's great. And I mean, and you're a great inspiration. You've been on television and to talk about your heritage and your philosophy. What we talked about young people coming into our industry today and a bit about the atmosphere. What would you recommend? What tips do you have for young chefs or female chefs who look up to you and want to start
Mhm.
in? Three.
Well, the best thing I can say is just, just keep doing it. There's gonna be failures along the way. I had them. I will have more of them in the future. Don't give up, and just stay true to yourself
Mm.
and just keep going. If you love cooking, just keep doing it.
Mm. Because now that I mean, you worked your way from not coming from a restaurant family or such, but really on your own inspiration, going all the way to the U.S. and having go through the cultural shock. For you today, what does it mean to be now recognized with all the recognition of the Asia Best Female Chef of the Year with the Michelin Awards? Does that change the game for you?
It I'm very honored to receive all the awards, and I think it's a very big motivation for me and for the team. But then at the end of the day, we just have to keep improving every day, do today better than yesterday, and try to do better tomorrow. Because with all the awards and recognitions, it doesn't do justice as much as the food served at the restaurant. So you just have to keep innovating, and because people tends to expect more when we have those awards, so we just have to, we try to be beyond what they expect, and that's how we gonna strive even more for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, I want to thank you for sharing all that. And yeah, I guess what exactly what you say is that the uh, it's the guest experience is the most rewarding, and it's an
Yes,
everyday reward that you get from every customer. But
correct.
but all these official awards put the extra pressure on, and
Yes, a little bit.
a little bit, and so. So your plans now is do you have any other expansion plans, or you're really focused on Potong?
Right now I'm focusing on Potong because we are young in terms of the restaurant. We just opened 2.5 years, and we think, there's a lot of things that we can still, improving for sure. And in terms of the food, in terms of our team internally, we have a young but passionate team that I want to grow. And yeah, I want to bring Potong to the world stage even further, and put Thailand on the world map.
Yeah. Do you think, like, with all your accolades, with all these rewards you're receiving, all the light, the spotlight that you're receiving, does that like do you feel like that you have a state that you need to empower others? Is there
Yes.
a message you need to get through to know that you
Yes,
have a
I
state?
think it's for me. I think it's important that uh, how would I say? I'm not just receiving. I want to be the one who give opportunities for younger generation. I'm still young, but the younger ones and the one who work really hard for it. My sous chef have been with me for 7 years. Along the way, I think she deserves something also. So yes, I think I want to be someone who gives opportunity to other generation also.
Mm, mm, mm. Exactly. So thank you, Chef Pam, for sharing your story and your all your inspiring examples and your insights.
You're
Really,
welcome. Thank you.
yeah, that's really good to have you on the show, and we're gonna put some links and maybe some links to your websites and other things that we've been doing, so people can know more. And I encourage listeners to go and visit Potong if they happen to be in Bangkok, but plan ahead, book a table ahead.
Yes, please. We have a bar that doesn't need to be booked. It's on top of Potong restaurant,
Oh, good
which
to
is
know.
called Opium Bar. Can also come by.
Excellent. That's good to know. Good
Yes.
to know. So, and you're in a historical center of the Chinatown in Bangkok. So, beautiful
Yes.
building. So, just worth a visit, just to yeah, even if
Yes.
there's no table, but the bar and get the ambience. Touch it.
Yes, for sure.
Excellent.
waiting for everyone.
Thank you, Chef Pam. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening in. You've been listening to Chef Pam. You're listening to Well Chef Podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar, and this is World on a Plate. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.